Hi all. So let's learn today advanced English phrases to boost up your confidence and English vocabulary. The first one is Life of Riley. It means to have a very luxurious life, a very carefree life without any problems or worries. For instance, you could say, we all dream for a life of Riley. The second phrase is be in harness. It means to return to work, to return to duty. For example, you could say, after a fun weekend, I was back in harness on Monday. The third phrase we have is a fall guy. Now, what is the meaning of a fall guy? Somebody is blamed falsely for the wrong which he has not done. Okay, the person is not responsible for the wrong which has happened, but he has been falsely blamed and framed. That is the meaning of a fall guy. For instance, you could say he has become a fall guy for the mistakes of his boss. Okay, in other words, you could say the person has become a scapegoat. Okay. Next phrase we have is mud sticks, or you could say mud does stick. Now, what is the meaning of mud sticks? Something bad is said about a person, but people continue to believe that in spite of the fact that it has been proved to be wrong. Okay, people continue to believe the wrong about that person even if it has been proved to be otherwise, even if it has been proved to be wrong. For example, the judge proved him to be innocent, but mud sticks, mud does stick. Next we have is make a killing. It means to make a good fortune, to make a heavy profit, to reap financial success. For example, you could say, hey, opening up the cafe is a great investment. You can make a killing overnight. Phrase is John Doe. It's really interesting to see that English has got even names of people as phrases. So John Doe is a name given to a person whose identity or name has to be kept as a secret. The name and identity of that particular person has to be hidden, has to be concealed, has to be kept as a secret. For some purposes, maybe that person could be hospitalized, or maybe that person could be dead, or for any other reasons. For such people whose name has to be kept as a secret, in the court of law, we give a fictitious name, and that is John Doe. For females, it is Jane Doe. For example, you could say the judge issued a John Doe warrant on the unidentified man to the police. The judge issued a John Doe warrant to the police to catch the unidentified man. Now, the next phrase is grow like topsy. Now, there is a word called topsy-turvy. You might have heard of that because that word is too familiar. It means upside down or complete disorder and chaos and all. To grow like topsy is a phrase which means to grow and expand without even being noticed, without being methodical, or without even a proper planning. Something has grown and expanded a lot. For instance, you could say, our company has grown like topsy. Okay, so the next phrase is be firing on all cylinders. Be firing on all cylinders. So what does that mean? It means to be very effective in the work, to be very productive, to perform very well, to be enthusiastic and very active and energetic. Okay, so someone who is very active, lively and bubbly, you can say that say to that person that, hey, after 6 months of training, you have literally started firing on all the cylinders. It means that person has become very productive and effective in the work. The next maxim or adage or proverb, like enough is as good as a feast. Enough is as good as a feast. It means that there is no use or there is no point in having something excess and surplus when there is actually no need of it. Okay, for example, you could say, hey, don't eat so much. Enough is as good as a feast. Don't study till late night. Enough is as good as a feast. So it's a warning, it's a caution against greed. Okay, this maxim intends to say that moderation is better than excess or surplus. Next is on a dime. Next phrase is on a dime. It means in a very small space and suddenly. You could say the car driver was so excellent that he turned his car on a dime. That he turned his car in a small space suddenly. So you could use this phrase, he turned his car on a dime. Next phrase is weasel words. Okay, if someone asks you something, you try to avoid that question. You try to avoid the truth. You try to avoid the blame. Okay, there is an ambiguity in your speech. Ambiguity means there is no exactness. There is no clarity in your sentence. For instance, if someone asks you something and you reply, yeah, probably, most probably, yeah, maybe, it seems to be. So there is no clarity. It is neither yes nor no. So such words are weasel words. You are trying to deceive the person. Okay, so you don't want to confess. Next is slap on the wrist. Slap on the wrist is nothing but a mild punishment, a small punishment, a mild reprimand or admonishment. For instance, you could say the judge gave the culprit a slap on the wrist. Now, next phrase is pomp and circumstance. Pomp and circumstance. It's a phrase from Shakespeare's play Othello. So pomp and circumstance means a formal ceremony with full of dance and music and decorations and all. For example, you could say the arrival of the king was full of pomp and circumstance. Next phrase we have a live wire. Okay, that's addressed to a person who is so lively, bubbly, animated, energetic, very enthusiastic, very active. Okay, you can say, hey, there goes our Alice. She's such a live wire. She's a real live wire. Next phrase is heebie-jeebies. Heebie-jeebies means anxiety, worry, or nervousness. For example, the current economic situation is giving the investors the heebie-jeebies. Next is be in the groove. It means to be very excellent and successful. Okay, you could say the band was slowly getting in the groove. It means the band was slowly getting success. Next phrase is be duty bound. It means to do something because you think it's your duty. You feel obliged. You feel responsible to do that thing. For example, you could say, we are all duty bound to our parents to justify how we spend our pocket money, because it's they who give us the pocket money, and so we are duty bound to justify that. Next is stone the crows. It's an exclamation, it's an expression to show your surprise or shock. Okay, you could say, hey, did you know Alice won the lottery? Stone the crows. It means surprise or shock. Next phrase is a bottomless pit. It means something that can hold large amount of something. It has no limit at all. For instance, you could say, oh, my brother, he keeps on eating. His stomach is such a bottomless pit. Or you could say, hey, don't close your cafe. Keep the cafe running. We can pour money into the bottomless pit. Now, next phrase is take the biscuit. Take the biscuit means to do something very stupid or foolish thing or annoying thing or even be rude. For instance, you could say about a stupid person, I know he has done a lot of stupid things in his life, but this really takes the biscuit. It means he has done something very, very extreme, stupid thing. So that's it all for today. Stay tuned, stay updated for more videos on grammar, homophones, synonyms, advanced phrases, and error correction. Do follow. Thank you.